Good Saturday morning from where am I at? Bangkok, Thailand, guys. We're going to be talking about Pattaya, Thailand today. And we're going to be talking about some principles that you might want to take with you. These are things that I have done myself, good principles that I follow when I go to Pattaya, and I think they'll help you as well. Many of you may or may not have seen my video on my suggestions, but it's got about 2.5 million views. If you go to my popular upload, you can see it. I'm kind of going to refine a few things today. What's up, Robert? Good to see you. Frank, good to see you. Chuck, my man, how are you? Good to see you in here. Cody, what's up, brother? Good to see everybody walking in this morning. And I'm going to give everybody a few minutes here. And then I'm going to talk about Pattaya. Do good, says Chuck. I think he said good. Glad you're in there. Hey, prep for it. Stuck. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Or good evening to you, I should say. I had many water bottles, so I had many green juice this morning. I'm going to give it about 2 minutes and let people roll in. Then we'll start talking about Pattaya. And the main reason I'm making this video is because I want to know how my principles when I go there relate to your principles when you go there. If you've been there, I'm very interested. This is a discussion that probably needed to take place a long time ago, and I'm glad. Roger, hello, good morning, my friend. We do not say I'll be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, thank you, Florida. I'll be happy to answer your questions, but you cannot use the C and the V word or either one of them by themselves. You can just say CB. Cigar. Sorry, man, not my rule. YouTube's. Robert says, hello, second Florida. Cody, Chuck is Chuck's giving me some emojis, but I'm glad everybody's in here. So the first thing that I really wanted to talk about, my very first principle when I go to Pattaya is my budget. That is my hey, Derek. I gave you a shout out for the PayPal that you sent yesterday in yesterday's live stream. I wanted everybody to know that you had done that. Thank you again for your contribution to the channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. But my budget is my number one priority when I go to Pattaya. Why is that? Well, there's a couple things you can do there. The way I see it, or the way I experience, Pattaya is kind of famous in my mind for three things: the street food, the shopping, and the nightlife. And if you don't know about the street food in Pattaya, then you're missing out on a whole lot of good fun, because the street food there is great. Go to where the locals are, just like you would anywhere else, and you should be fine. As far as shopping goes, there is pretty much unlimited shopping in the Pattaya region. Yeah, pretty much unlimited, because they just built a new Terminal 21. Well, I say just, it's been about a year. But be conscious of your spending while you're shopping, because you're going to want some money. Even if you don't participate in the nightlife in Pattaya, you're still going to want to go out at night and see what it's all about. Even if you just walk up and down the street, or if you tour LK Metro or whatever the case may be, you're going to want to see what it's like, especially if it's your first time. So be mindful, because you can be invited inside a bar or a restaurant there and wind up spending your weekly budget or your entire vacation budget in a few hours. And I know people that it's happened to, and I caution people, sincerely caution people to make budgeting their number one priority. Depending on how much you want to shop, how much street food you want to eat, and how much nightlife you want to participate in, that's going to determine how much your budget is. I can't tell you what a good budget is for you because I don't know what you're going to do. Cody says, me and my coin purse are going to have arguments about our budget. Yes, you will. You will very many times, I'm sure. Dale, hey Dale, he says, don't ring the bell. That's absolutely that should be number one priority. Don't ring the bell. That's a good one. Chuck says, my budget is $350 a day as a tourist. If I lived there, I'm sure it would be closer to $150 on the nights I go out once or twice a month. That's a perfectly reasonable 100% legitimate statement there. Chuck, $350 a day as a tourist is a good amount of money. Because you're talking what, 3, 6, 9, 10,000 baht, roughly? No, 11,000 baht, something like that. That's a good night out. That's a good night out for sure. Cody says, I found the bar hoppers have been scammed a few times, letting them fill up a bin and not paying each beer each time. Yeah, you can say that again. So if you're out in the nightlife in Pattaya, one thing you have to be wary of, especially if you're in a club and you've got a bin, right? This is how it works in case there's somebody watching this on replay that doesn't know, or watching now that doesn't know. So they'll bring you a little circular bin. Most of the time it's circular, and they'll put it on your table. And on your table, they put each drink that you have or each drink that you buy for a drinking companion. They put that in the check bin. Now, what used to happen, it's not happening now because nothing's open, but what used to happen is you would get extra drinks slid in, like you would order after your second drink or so. Somebody might take an extra drink slip and hold it together really tight and slide it in your check bin too. Especially if you've got 4 or 5 drinking companions sitting around with you, somebody might be slapping some receipts in your check bin, and that's not a good thing because that means when you get ready to leave, when you are ready to leave, you are going to have to pay that bill no matter what. I assure you. Cody says 70 to 80 baht a beer. I just have 100 baht for each one and leave a tip. Tipping has always kept me in the good graces of waitresses and my pastor. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. But that's one. So principle one for me has always been and probably will always be budget. Budget is the most important thing when you go out. Prep for it says I always make sure I have a separate red envelope that I don't touch. It contains the baht I need to get back to the airport at the end of my trip. That's an excellent idea because priority number 2 was going to be escape money. That's what I was going to say. Not that kind of escape money that you're talking about to get you from there back to the airport, definitely, but also escape from whatever situation you're in. So, for example, if you are at I don't know, let's say you're at an open air bar and you went a little bit too far because you were having too much fun with the tour guides and drinking companions there in Pattaya. You're going to need some extra money to cover that tab because no matter what it is, you're going to have to pay the bill. That's the other thing you need to know about Pattaya. you are going to have to pay the bill, especially if you're a tourist and you don't know anybody in Pattaya. You can expect to at least start out at full price negotiations, and really there's not a lot of negotiation that goes on unless your quantity goes up, and I'll leave that to your imagination for sure. What in the world? Let's see what else we got here. Robert Mack in Asia. Good morning to you, sir. I'm so happy you made the stream. It's been a long time since I seen you. Well, I've been since last week anyway. But thanks for stopping by, bro. I appreciate it, man. Cody says, let's pretend you have $2,000 a month on average. Where is that money going in your experience? Are you talking about as a tourist, or are you talking about living here? Because if you're talking about living here, that would be more of a cost of living video. If you go to Pattaya and try to live on $2,000 a month, and you're a big nightlife person, it ain't happening. I'm just telling you. You can you can burn through that money so fast that you will not know what hit you or what's going on. Cody says living. Okay, yeah. If you're living in Pattaya, $2K a month is not going to do it, bro. And let's see what Stuck says. Stuck says Cody in Texas, $1K to live on. Let's see. Cody in Texas, $1K to live on, $200 for insurance, $800 for extras. Now, Stuck, is that including somebody that would be heavy on the nightlife? Because I don't know, that just seemed a little short for me for a nightlife person. For your average person that like myself, I don't drink, I don't do a very well. I participated in nightlife, but I don't really go out that much, even when I'm there. Oh, he said no. Okay, that's what I thought. Sports blog, what's up, man? Hi, mate. Quick question: are there exclusive videos or streams for people that become a member YouTube channel? There will be, but right now it is just the topic suggestions. It is members only posts, and it is members only pictures. And there will be coming a new tier sometime in the near future where I will make members only video. But if you are interested in becoming a member, it's very easy to do. It does give you a little bit of status with the channel. It certainly helps out with the channel. Every little bit helps. And the member post that I put up will probably be almost as valuable to you as the videos that I put up. But you have to remember, we're still working with YouTube, so we have to remain within their community guidelines and that kind of thing. So it's up to you. We'd love to have you as a member. Stuck in Florida says once a week. Okay, so on a once a week budget, you can do it for $2K a month. I think that's reasonable. Robert says, I just keep a bank account in Thailand for emergencies, and if I need more, gotcha. That's actually not a bad idea, Robert. I have a bank account here too. And I usually just pay I pay my rent, my bike payment, my electricity, my cell phone. I pay all that out of my check each month, and out of my payroll check that I get from my job each month. And after that, I've got quite a bit left over usually, and then I pay for medication, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else monthly. I pay for food, so that eats into it. And then you got, I don't know, after all that, you probably got about between 12 and 15,000 baht to live off of. Well, because that doesn't include food. So between 8 and 10,000 baht to live off of the rest of the month. That's pretty good, because I'm working 5 days a week anyway. It's not like I can just go out and record all day and spend money at places and that kind of thing. Cody says Nightlife. I think you would need 3 to 4K. Yeah, if you want to be heavy on Nightlife, I'm going with four to 5,000 US dollars a month. My opinion. Derek C says, I think the most expensive cost in the equation would be lodging, would it not? It could be. It could be. Depends on what you want to do there in Pattaya. Or excuse me, Pattaya. No, not Pattaya. Pattaya. There we go. It depends on what you want to do there. Lodging could be the most expensive. But if you find a 8,000 baht a month apartment and you go out for the nightlife twice a week, I can promise you're going to spend more than 8,000 baht a month on the nightlife. If you don't go out for the nightlife, or if you only go out once a week, then probably break even. Cody says, I would probably go out twice a week, but I like other things like Muay Thai, events, water parks, movies, etc. And the good thing about Pattaya, they have all that. They have the movies, they have the water parks, they have Muay Thai events. I mean, it's just it's loaded with people that can. It's loaded with entertainment. Really, it's an entertainment city. It's a tourist destination for tourists all over the world to come to. You get to see a great mix of people. You get to see things that you normally wouldn't see if it's your first time coming there. Prepare for a real culture shock, not a pretend culture shock, because it's really going to be like. Yeah, nightlife can be negotiable. I agree, Dale. It can be. Robert Mack says, "Stuck in Florida. Good evening." Yeah, I agree, Dale. It can be negotiable. Negotiable. No, negotiable. One thing right now, you could probably get away with the heck of a negotiation because there's nobody in. The only people that are in Pattaya right now are the people that got stuck there. So, yeah, that's a whole nother story in and of itself. Cody says, looks like the closer you get to the water, the more it goes up, just like most places in the world. I've watched decent vids on $300 a month apartments plus about another $200 you spend on miscellaneous bills. That's true. That's about right. Dale says supply versus demand, 100%. I don't know about UFC. I hadn't watched UFC in a long time. So I would like to know in the comment section, guys, like what are some of your standing principles? Because I'm going to continue on with mine. The next principle I have, people say, something I put out, prices only Ed says prices only getting lower, waiting for my return to October. Cool, man. In my first video about this that I did, the big one, I said, no matter what, don't tell people how much money you make. Hey, BB, I don't know. Thailand seems to be taking a very precautious approach to opening the borders, and it could be a while, to be honest with you. But my thing was, like, I told people, number one, don't tell anybody how much money you make. Go there as a broke person, or let everybody know that you don't have money. And number two, I told people not to bring, your buddies, your drinking companions, back to the place you're staying, like a hotel room, for example. And people were going, well, where am I supposed to bring my drinking companion or my friends or whatever if I don't bring them back to my hotel? They have plenty of short-term, I mean, like very short-term rental rooms around the area that you can party. Let's say party. And that's the answer to that question. For 200 or 300 baht, you can get a stay in a place for an hour or two. That's just something that you guys probably need to know. Ed says people are not your friends in Pattaya. That's true. It's fantasy land. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Enjoy it for what it is. Maintain your privacy. Like James Bond, stealth it. 100% agree. I didn't know all of that going in. Fortunately, I was able to have a few friends that had experience with the atmosphere there, and it worked out. It worked out pretty good. I got to learn a lot without having to put myself at much risk. Frank says, "How safe is it to use the safes in the room?" They can be open. It's not. I personally put them in safes. I leave some of my stuff in safes, but some of the stuff I just like triple bag. Like, so I have a bag that has a lock on it. I have a bag inside that has a lock on it, and the bag inside of that, which has a lock on it, will have like my money and valuables and that kind of thing. But they also, if you stay at a relatively even decent place in Pattaya, you're going to be you're definitely going to be in a place with cameras, where they have cameras everywhere. So the likelihood of your stuff getting stolen, would probably be more of if you brought somebody there, kind of thing. That's my thinking anyway. Sports Blog says, if you get a girl, you might be right, but we can't informate that much. We can't put that much information out. YouTube won't like it. Ross, what's up, buddy? There are even places where room, massage, and physical trainer is all included for 2 hours. That's right. There are. There definitely are. Cody says, Ed, Jay has a good vid on that comment. It's called The Facade of Pattaya. And it is, I'm not sure if it's on my popular videos list, but it's definitely on my Pattaya list for sure, 100%. Ed says, I recommend staying at Airbnb spots. Prices is down almost 80%. Use the safe there. Find hiding places. Be creative. That's pretty much the goal, Ed, of what I try to do and what most people try to do. So I think that's very legitimate. Thank you for that comment. Cody says, are those safes bolted to the dresser? Most of them are not, and that's what makes that's another reason that you have to be very careful. There's also earth magnets. You can swipe across them, that'll unlock them. They have backup codes, of course, but I personally have never experienced, and I spent a lot of time in Pattaya last year. A lot of time. You can go to my list, my Pattaya list, and my playlist, and find out just how much time I spent there. Dale says, never invest money into any situation that you can't walk away from. If it goes south, it's one of my rules. 100%. That's like my $20 rule, I call it. I never ever, if somebody says, can I borrow $20? I never ever give them that $20 unless I can afford to never see it again. So I understand. Cody says, inside the dresser. I mean, yeah, they're not bolted. The safes aren't. Well, I mean, some places are, but they're probably going to be the more upscale and cost a little bit more, I would think. Robert says, every room I've rented had safes bolted to cabinets. You're a lucky man. Every room I've rented there has not. Let's see. Cody says, Ross doing push-ups for 2 hours. Frank, Just did not want to have to carry all the cash with me. Yeah, you definitely don't want to have to do that. Ross says, Cody, every hotel I've stayed in all over Thailand, the safes are bolted to something. BB says, by the way, what is the best way to go to Pattaya from Don Wayne? I would probably just get a taxi and get it over with. If I were you, I would probably just take a taxi and do it, because if you come from Don Wang and you get a shuttle bus or a taxi or something like that that takes you to the BTS, then when you get to the end of the BTS, you still have to get off and get on a taxi or a bus. You could in theory go to Accommodation, get on a bus, or one of the other stations and get on a bus. But I just do it all at one time, because after all that flying and all the time, it's nice to come over and get it's like it's almost like the convenience is worth the money, is what I'm trying to say. It says, hope things get back to normal, or as much normal as soon. I want my next Pattaya adventure to be like the 1990s version of Total Recall. I hear you, man. A lap says, there's no such thing as borrowing money. I can agree with that in a certain to a certain level. Ross says, most news stories of someone having had something stolen. The girl is not from the bar. Usually, girls on the promenade. Okay. Vic V, what's up? I'll be in Pattaya for 2 weeks. Is 2,500 good for a nightlife guy for 2 weeks? I don't know. Depends on just how much nightlife you're talking about, Vic. You could probably get by with that for 2 weeks, but gotta be careful, man. Gotta be careful. Don't go in there on your first night and spend $1,000, because then you're screwed. I mean, and it's easy to do. Depends on, like Ross says, it depends on how much you drink and exercise, and it can go by very quick, man. Stuck says, like I've always said, if a friend wants to borrow money and you want to keep them as a friend, give it to them. If you want to lose them as a friend, loan it to them. That's 100% correct. That's 100% correct, and that's kind of how I think of my own loans, or whatever you want to call them. A lot says, yep. It says 2 inches, 2 inches wide tape and a large envelope. Tape it underside of a table. Stash your flat items such as passport and cash there. Tape it to the underside of a table or chair. No one will see it. That's possible. Vic says, is that a decent budget? Again, I defer you to Ross's comment, because that's exactly what I'm going to tell you. It says depends on how much you drink and exercise. And when we say drink and exercise, I'm sure you can read between the lines there. It says, just gave my best secret away. Hey, man, we're here to share information and try to make everybody's life better. That's for sure. So we appreciate you sharing your secrets with us, for sure. Vic says, you're great. So much intel. Sending love your way. Thank you, Vic. I appreciate that very much. And everybody else that's in the channel. Another principle. When you go to cover your smaller head in Pattaya, or anywhere in Thailand for that matter, please note on the back of the box of the things that do the covering, there are measurements, and they're in circumference measurements. So if you get one that cuts off the blood flow, it's not very pleasant. Okay. You need to understand that. Maybe Ross can find some way to put that into words that I didn't make, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. There are different sizes and circumference here versus America, where they make short and long, right? Let's see. Cody says, do banks have security boxes you can rent? My main concern on the room safe is something happening to the original passport. I would keep a copy on me. I keep my passport on me. I mean, people say not to and all that stuff, but I keep it on me because I just do. Ross says, Vic, if you drink for $1,000 a night, hotel for $1,000, and exercise for $2,000 to $3,000, you still need to eat. With that budget, you are on $300 a day, all in. Good point. Cody says, sorry, Vic, got to kick that one, bro. I don't want YouTube to give YouTube any reason for anything. No disrespect to you at all. I don't care what you say, YouTube does. Cody says, as far as cash, I don't think I'd keep any more than 3,000 baht on me. That's probably a good rule, Cody. Sometimes I have that much, sometimes I have less, sometimes I have more. It depends on what I'm going to do. And there are the sizes, gentlemen, and I think those are in millimeters, right, Ross? I think those are in millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. And it's the circumference. Or is it in centimeters? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's in one of them. Stuck says, I have a friend that lived in Pattaya for almost 3 years on $3,000 a month with a girlfriend. That makes a big difference. With a girlfriend, I have another friend that goes through that much every night that is in Pattaya. Yeah. So you can do whatever it's up to you, really. It's really up to you. Robert says, I've always kept my passport on me. I do the same. Sports Blog says, Ed Vic, are you including hotel in that 2,500 or just spending money? That's a good question. Ed says you can only keep the passport on you if you are the type which is very responsible. And I hate to say that I'm very responsible, but I am responsible when it comes to that because I don't drink or anything like that. So I don't get drunk. I don't my brain is not clouded by anything that would change my judgment on what I was doing. It says buy your equipment in your own country. That's true. Vic says yes, hotels included. Cool. Thai Guy Bri, I have carried up to 8K baht while in Chinatown, Bangkok, and never felt in danger of losing it. Yeah, for the most part, it's safe. In Pattaya, you just have to be a little bit more careful. But as long as you hadn't done anything to make anybody really mad, you're okay. BB says thanks and have fun, guys. I have to go. Talk later again. Okay, BB, we'll see you. Vic B says, yes, I heard to buy equipment at home. It's a good idea. Ross says 49s are blood stoppers. 52 and 54 are very comfortable. If not sure, bring your favorite ones from your home country. There you go. Stuck says he'll be right back. That's cool. Sports Blog says he's talking to Vic. He says if hotel included, then you probably will need more than that to really enjoy yourself. I agree, 100%. Cody says, so best to keep original on you, but have a copy in a safe scenario you're going swimming. You can do that. I wouldn't even put it in the safe. I would just put it in the cloud. I'd put it on my G drive. I'd put it on the cloud, back it up to my cell phone, the actual pictures of it, all that stuff. And that's what I've done, and I haven't had any problems. I really haven't. Cody says, scenario, you are going swimming. You're going to swim. A lap says, are credit cards widely accepted? Yes, sir, they are. Absolutely. Robert says, I carry a copy of passport and Thai driver's license. That's probably not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. You can carry copies, guys. It's not. you know, the law states that you have to have your actual passport, actual driver's license on you. But in most cases, the police will accept a copy. I mean, in most cases. But I carry my originals on me so that there's no question, there's no debating, there's no let's go back to his hotel and get his real one, all that stuff. I don't have to worry about any of that. I keep my passport, my work permit in a safe, very safe place on me when I'm there, and it's all good, man. It's all good. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with carrying copies, guys. I'm just telling you how I do it. These are my principles of Pattaya. I haven't talked about Pattaya in a long time, so I thought that I would do this video and let you guys kind of get a feel for what it's like on the ground there. Vic says 3,000 it is. Ross says credit cards are not a good idea in Thailand. Many surprises will show up on statements 3 or 4 months later. I haven't had that happen, Ross. But I don't have like an actual credit card either. All mine, I have debit cards, and then I have my Thai accounts, which are essentially savings accounts. Vic says you guys are awesome. Vic, join the channel, man. Go down to the join button of this video and become a member. You get a few perks. Well, you get to email in suggestions on topics, and you'll get members only posts, which means I'll post some information for members only, and I'll also post some members only pics. So some of those are traveling, some of those are from photo shoots I've done the last few years. And I'm going to be going to tier up here at some point in time with members only content. And it's $2.99 to join, so it's not like it's an expensive endeavor. Ross says credit cards are safe at hotels, major stores like Big C or Lotus. Do not use any small shop. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Using a credit card for like a hotel purchase or at a Big C or something like that, even like max values that they have, stuff like that. I use it there. Not a big deal. Robert says Vic say LD. Yep. Vic's new and he's got to learn. Vic says he's joining. All right, if you join, it'll pop up in the chat. So come on and join, man. We'd love to have you. Vic says I would love to meet up Pattaya and buy you guys some drinks. I'm ringing the bell for us. I hear you. Our April Suites is a good spot to stay. I haven't stayed there. If you want a good spot to stay, stay on the back side of our Rovers in LK Metro, or stay somewhere on Soy Bucao, on the not the southern end, but don't go too far north on Soy Bucao. Ross says, Vic, do not ring the bell. I have a whole playlist of hotel reviews I've done in Pattaya and in Bangkok as well. So you can check those out, Vic. It's all on the channel. Ross says, Vic, do not ring the bell. It's just a waste of cash. No one is impressed by who lives here. But I think he was talking about ringing the bell for all of us. Alap says, later, keep it working. Really enjoy your stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Vic says, I'm joining. I am waiting to see that membership pop up in the chat. Sports blog at Vic B. You say you like nightlife. Look into the Grand Hotel. That's not a bad idea. It's right in WS, so you won't need to worry about paying for transport. Also a good idea. The new fam. Yep. Cody says, Vic, the bell is for the staff. Could be 15 of them there, times 200 baht each. Good point. Farad, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Stuck says, I never take a credit card with me on vacation. I have a travel account with a debit card and only use it at an ATM or major business. Good for you, man. That's a good plan right there. To be honest with you, that's a real good plan. Ross says to be YouTube safe, we use words like personal trainers, exercise, short and long workouts. That is correct. Because you have to be YouTube safe these days. MetTech late, 40 minutes late. Not too bad. Big Steve says the base, good place to stay, get good prices on booking, come close to everything. That's fair. I've been to the base and I know where it is. Pretty good. Scott says Soy Bacow is the best location that has accommodations for all budgets. I'm inclined to agree with Scott on that one. Vic says, okay, gotta get the lingo down. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Don't worry. We'll let you know. Cody says, I like your Grand Hotel via J. Wondering if they have monthly, no info on website. I would imagine just about all these places to stay in Pattaya have monthly prices. And if you want to come over here and stay for a month, you're going to get a much better deal than if you were paying by the week, I can assure you. Sports Blog says, Grand Hotel also has a mirror and a good spot for while you're exercising. I know that's right. Ross says, Pattaya is not that large. You can take the bot bus all over day and night. Yeah, you can. The bot bus runs in circles all the time, and it's very cheap for transportation. If you don't want that, you can always take a motorbike taxi, but the motorbike taxis generally are going to charge you what I would say would be a significant amount more than the bot bus. And that's just how they do it down there. Cody says that view from the Grand Hotel was amazing. I'm sure. I'm sure it was. Sure it was. Another principle that I like to go by is I don't like to, some guys will go there and they'll find their personal trainer / drinking companion the first night they're there. And then they will stay with that person like for a week or 2 weeks, however long their stay is. There's a 3-date rule in Pattaya. In other words, don't have more than 3 days with the same fitness trainer, because feelings start to get involved, and that's bad. That's very, very bad. You'll find yourself doing a lot of stupid things. My personal recommendation, and I said this on the first video, I said one and done. I'm going to go with maybe 2 days with the same trainer, and then it's time to explore more, because the truth of the matter is there are a lot of personal trainers, drinking companions in Pattaya, and do you really want to waste all your time with just one? That's my question. Big Steve says 3-day rule max. Yeah, definitely max on that. Vic says should be cut down to 2 days. I agree. Ross says it will be interesting to see how soon all the trainers return. That is very true. With everything closed for so long, should be a new crop of inexperienced trainers who are very hungry. I would agree with that 100%. Cody says 3-day rule sounds good, but best way to do this, just keep it going for 3 days. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You'll know if you have any kind of connection. Scott says love, but yeah, I don't know. I could make some comments on that, but I'm not going to. SA Sports Blog, people tend to stick to the same trainer because exercising with the personal trainer gets better the more familiar you get with each other. That's true. That's very true. I will not argue that point with you at all. However, if you're more of an explorer type, or if you're more, maybe explorer is not exactly the right word. If you're more the adventurous type, you want to work with with more trainers. I mean, that's just the way that's the way I've always seen it anyway. Vic says, I've seen a lot of your videos. You guys are dope. Much appreciated. That's thank you. And Ross said, SA, you can, you also, or SA, also, you can get more exercise for less money working out on a daily rate, not per session. That is very true. Dave C, 1 day rule, even better. That's what I put out in my first video, and I don't know if that is true or not, but that was my thinking at the time. Michael, I haven't seen you in a long time, Michael. Good to see you. Don't pick up a hottie at Alcazar. Yeah, definitely don't. James says Philippines hurting bad from lack of tourism. I did not see any of that, James. I do know some people in the Philippines, and it's hurting from lack of tourism. I'm sure of that. Ty Guy Brow says, I have done the 3-year date with the third trainer I met. Hey, if it works, it works. Sometimes it does, but definitely the odds are stacked not in your favor, I would say, when it comes to that kind of stuff. Vic says, maybe you just got lucky, Ty Guy Brow. And I'm not saying you just, I don't mean you just got lucky and you didn't have to work at it or anything like that. I'm just saying you're one of the few exceptions. Cody says, okay, best way to get rid of them with no conflict, being blunt. I've never been good at this. It's real simple. Just make sure that they leave. I mean, it's not, once they leave, they leave. If you don't want a morning session with your personal trainer, then tell them you have other places to be and go, and you appreciate their time, and let them go. Dixie, he's laughing. Ross says, when I was single, I had many free workout sessions. Sometimes you get lucky, that's for sure. Sports Blog says, Ross Raring, not sure that Pattaya still exists. Yeah, well, it's going to be, but Ross was in Samui. Well, there, he says Samui. Yeah, so it was a little bit different, I think. Ty Guy says, I'm lucky. Definitely, she has been to the UK on a 6-month holiday visa. We have had issues, but worked it out. That's awesome, man. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Vic says, how is 36 daytime? And yeah, so use WS for that, and just use S6 for the other one, because that's very much, both of them are fine. And however you choose to use them, it is what it is. Cody says, I'm getting things thrown at me after 3 days. I'm assuming, though. That's funny. That's very funny. Something else to keep in mind, gentlemen, is you have to go home at some point. Unless you're going to be an expat and live in Pattaya permanently, then you have to go home at some point. So, kind of winding down this live stream here, I want to say this is very important. You want to make sure that you have a good time, and you want to make sure that you stay on budget, because you're going to have to leave fairy tale land, which is what I consider to be Pattaya. you're going to have to leave at some point. And when you get back on that plane to go home, you don't want to leave with regrets. Like, you don't want to leave with, I spent too much money too fast and I stayed in my hotel for 5 days. You don't want to do that. That's why you want to stay in your budget. It's very, very important that you stay within your budget. When you get on that plane, you want to say, man, I had a great time. I can't wait to get home. And I can't wait to come back and do this again. And, you know, there are other places in Thailand you can go as well. So don't get on the plane with regrets. Don't get on the plane and hate yourself. Like, you gotta, if you are a drinker and you know what your limit is on drinks, and you also know that you are not going to go over that limit, then you will probably be okay. But if you get sloppy and can't make good decisions, there could potentially be a serious problem. And we don't want serious problems to happen. That's why I'm talking to you guys about this. Let's see. Stuck says you can't take the roller coaster home with you from Disney World. That pretty much sums it up. You can't take the roller coaster home with you. That's right. Stuck. Very good. Ross says also, guys, Pattaya is not the only playground. There are smaller playgrounds all over the country. Yep. And then he goes on to mention, he's right. He's definitely right. So, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to the channel monetarily. I would like, thanks, Countdown Travel, appreciate it. MetTech, you got a good point there. Anybody who monetarily contributed to the channel via PayPal, thank you very much for your contributions, as it does help keep this channel alive and going. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, and so what SA Sports is saying is the whole, and I've said that in my videos, Pattaya exists like every other tourist destination in the world for one reason, and that is to separate you from your money. So you have to know that going in. You have to understand that you're in the middle of a big game, and you have to know how to play. And usually that takes experience, or you go with somebody that has lots of experience. But with all that being said, guys, I really just wanted to kind of give you, oh, biscuits and gravy. I hate you, Cody. I really just wanted to give you guys a lot of thank yous for all the contributions that came out. I know it's a rough time, but over the week here, we've done pretty good. You know, it's a continually growing thing. This channel is about to make a leap forward, I hope. That's my goal anyway. I've got a few things scheduled coming up, and there'll be members only stuff. So if you are not a member, please consider joining up. Like I said, it's only $2.99 a month, very cheap. And you can stay apprised as to what's going on. And occasionally, I will perhaps release some members only videos and see if see how that works out. We'll see what happens. But everybody, let's see. Stuck in Florida said I have a great time, and 90% of the time I'm in small villages. You can find friends everywhere. Those small villages is where most of the girls that you see in Pattaya are from. Yeah, 100% true. 100% true. You guys are saying goodbye. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that made a comment on the live stream today and got Saturday kicked off. Very, very much. Thank you so much, guys. I also want to tell you I appreciate you. And well, I appreciate you being on the live chat. Take the time to come on with us. I hope everyone learned something from this. There are many more principles that I practice when I'm in or around the Pattaya area. However, I'm not going into detail on this. Maybe I'll do a part 2 or something, or maybe I'll do a video and do a part 2. With that being said, this is the channel that is dedicated to travel, fun, photography, and education. And whatever you do today, guys, find a way to do more life. Love you and see ya.